Like most HR professionals in the UK, the last couple of weeks my life seems to have been all about furlough. I seem to have talked about very little else really, getting a bit fed up with it, to be honest. And I was just thinking about normally people who know me, people who've come across me, read anything I've written, worked with me, will know that I am not a risk-averse HR professional at all. That's not how I work, that's not how our consultants work. I'm very much about working with business owners and enabling them to run their business and make decisions rather than preventing them doing stuff. It's one of the really big things that I'm very, very keen on, that our brand is all about. So I'm not risk-averse, I'm quite happy to take risks and to, but normally I do that from a position of having lots of knowledge. I have lots of employment law knowledge and I have lots and lots of experience of how things normally work, how employees respond, what normally happens. So when you're being kind of not risk averse from a basis of knowledge and experience, that's a good position to be in, because you can advise a business owner realistically on what the risks might be, what the outcome of those risks could be, and then they can make a decision, and that's brilliant. But my problem is with the new furlough scheme, I don't have any more knowledge than anybody else about it. There's very little out there, and all I have is what everybody else has. I don't have any in-depth knowledge of the legislation because it's not there. I don't have more experience than anyone else because it's just come out. Nobody has any experience of it. So we're all operating on the best guess basis, a best guess about how things should be interpreted and what decisions should be made. And it occurs to me that when there isn't specific guidance yet, which I very much hope and expect there will be, some regulations or something more specific will have to come out, because this is taxpayers' money that's being spent. It's really important that before that happens, business owners are having to do it now, but before we get that specific guidance, it's so important, I think, that it is interpreted in a very risk-averse way. We have a responsibility as HR professionals. We have a responsibility to the businesses we work for, if we're employed, or to the clients we have if we're consultants. We have a responsibility to them not to put them in a vulnerable position. And I'm very conscious that if we interpret the guidance we currently have in a very broad way, we could be putting our clients in a situation where they've made big decisions about their business, about their employees' lives and incomes, based on an assumption they're going to be able to reclaim lots of funding, even all the funding for that, at a later date when the scheme is properly set up. And if it turns out that the broad interpretation that we could have used turns out not to be the case, then we could be putting our clients and businesses in a situation where they're then having to pay back money they can't afford, or might be accused of fraud or something even more serious. So I think it's so important to, in the absence of knowledge, in the absence of specific rules and guidelines, to interpret this scheme in as risk-averse way as possible, because we have a responsibility as business owners, as HR professionals, to protect the businesses we work with and not place them at risk. And I think interpreting it more broadly than there is justification to do is placing businesses at risk, and it's really important we don't do that.